Hello everyone, I am Syed Asrar. In this video, I want to ask you a question. I want to put out a question that would you choose a grand funeral over a celebrated life? And that is up to you to decide, and I think we wantedly or unwantedly, willingly or unwillingly, do choose one or the other in our lives. We either choose to be, known as the person who had the biggest funeral, or someone who actually is celebrated till the existence of this world. So personally, my preference obviously is to have a celebrated life. What does a celebrated life means, or a life that is celebrated is? I define that as a life where the work that you did, the machines that you created, are timeless or in operation, the content that you created, be it in any form, and the contribution that you made are helpful to the humankind in making their lives easier, in progressing the technology and innovation, in helping people out to become the better version of themselves. So that is a celebrated life. A life that is celebrated till the existence of humankind comes at a very high cost, and the cost is the short-term luxuries of the individuals has to be sacrificed. Whatever the individual does has to be decided upon. Is that contributing to the overall vision that the individual has, or is that digressing from the vision that the individual has? In fact, I would say a grand funeral is a good thing. Great people had grand funerals. But the point, I think, is to have beyond that, to look beyond the life and to look beyond the oneself existence. Whatever belief you have and whatever faith that you follow and practice, you can be anyone. You can belong to any community. You can belong to any belief system or the set of ideologies. Every one of us agrees on a basic thing. Your birth is something that happened, and your death is something that is going to happen. A celebrated life is the life that is meant for the purpose that you believe in and contributing towards the purpose that you believe in. It has not to be all this sacred. It is not necessary that your purpose was to help people. That might not be on the top of your list, which is absolutely okay. But did you live to the values that you believed in is something that has to be looked into. Because I think irrespective of however anarchist and however rebel that we claim to be ourselves, we have our own set of values that we truly believe in, and that becomes the moral compass of every individual to guide the direction while navigating the path of life. And a celebrated life is the life that brings joy not only to you but to everyone around. We can see the artists, especially in this category, and the content writers. The kind of content that they created is timeless and flawless. And it is, that's why, man, I have so much respect for the artist of any content. It can be music, it can be writings, it can be videos, it can be any kind of content, man. That helps people to breathe, that helps people to enable to anchor to their own purpose, because they find that there is someone out there who is in sync with their own thoughts, who whom they can connect with, who come under their radar of thoughts. So that just helps them a lot. So my understanding is that one has to live for a celebrated life, and a life that is worth celebrating is a life that is worth being lived. A life where your contribution and you don't end by death, but you actually begin. What I mean by that statement is where the work that you did just helps generations to come. And that can be shown by a lot of people. For example, take the case of Steve Jobs. The kind of innovation he brought in technology is just amazing. So take any religious sect for that matter. Though the structures have remained the same, but one has to look at the intention with which those were created. I think those were all amazing intention. There was no harm intended there, to be honest. So, to just conclude this recording, all I want to tell is it is important for us to live for the purpose that we believe in. The more we digress from what we believe in and what we firmly agree upon and worth living, I think unfortunately we would have to regret a lot of it. And life is not worth regretting, because you get only one, and that too you want to spend it regretting is not a good idea. So what's the call? What's the point that I want to make? The point that I want to make is simple. If you're aware of your purpose, okay, purpose I'm not using in this actual sense like, yeah, everyone has to have a purpose. It cannot be a statement, it cannot be completely defined. But I think to have a moral compass and go with that is so much essential for every one of us. Because as I started, when I started this recording, I made it very clear that the intention is not to preach a religion or to force to make believe in certain religion or any religion. We as humans believe in a very simple thing, and that is that we want to live happily. And for someone to be happy, I think contribution is very important, and that has to be given the priority. Contribution in terms of ideas, opinions, and observation, as well as anything. This also helps, and that's what I want to force on. I want to pressurize on. I want to propagate on. That's it, man. This is what I want to talk in this recording. And we have a lot of examples of people whose life is celebrated. Even if you see the Linkin Park, a music band, the lead singer of it, Chester Bennington, when he decided to end his life, and later on, the concert that was planned later on was Celebrate Life. So that shows the true spirit of humanity, that we don't end basically by our death. Our death is just a milestone, irrespective of if you believe in the afterlife or not. It is just a milestone, because there is the artwork, the contribution that you do, which just still breathe in the world. And until that your entirety of work is completely destroyed, which is impossible, I think one lives a life. And which means that the only way to extend your life beyond death too is to keep creating the content, to keep creating and working on your ideas, and to bring innovation on the table, And do not be hesitant and not to be so much concerned about judgment. Because, as I say always, if everything that you believe in is just in your head, there is no reason for its existence, because it's definitely going to die with you. Please, it is a plea from me, put out there in the world in any form that you are comfortable with, written form, audio, video. The world needs positivity, the world needs ideas, the world needs solution for the problem. And your idea might not be directly related to solution, but it might be a contribution towards that. So that's the all stress on, and I'd like to conclude. So this is the end of the video, and thank you for your time, and see you later.